Cambodia is a country founded on history and heritage. From the French colonial era to the horrifying rule of the Khmer Rouge, Cambodia has seen some tough times. Any trip to Cambodia is incomplete without an exploration into its important past. As much of the world struggles to post-growth, Cambodia's tourism and hospitality sector continued to expand and diversify, attracting more intra-regional activity and especially from major emerging markets in Asia. Cambodia is nowadays quite a famous tourist destination primarily because of its historical temples and many other important and fascinating places. Welcome to our channel Around the World with Dua Mumtaz. Today we are going to explore Preah Vihear Temple is an ancient Khmer temple built during the period of the Khmer Empire, that is situated on the top of a 525-meter cliff in the Dângrêk mountains, in the Preah Vihear province, Cambodia. If you like our informative video, please click the like button and share with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe our channel and hit the bell icon so you will receive timely notification whenever we uploaded new videos. Let's get started. In 1962, following a lengthy dispute between Cambodia and Thailand over ownership, the International Court of Justice (ICJ) in The Hague ruled that the temple is in Cambodia, affording a view for many kilometers across the plain. Prasat Preah Vihear has the most spectacular setting of all the temples built during the 6-century-long Khmer Empire. As a key edifice of the empire's spiritual life, it was supported and modified by successive kings and so bears elements of several architectural styles. Preah Vihear is unusual among Khmer temples in being constructed along a long north-south axis, rather than having the conventional rectangular plan with orientation toward the east. The temple gives its name to Cambodia's Preah Vihear province, in which it is now located, as well as the Khao Phra Wihan National Park which borders it in Thailand's Sisaket province, though it is no longer accessible from Thailand. On 7 July 2008, Preah Vihear was listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The temple was built at the top of Poi Tari, a steep cliff in the Dângrêk mountain range which is the natural border between Cambodia and Thailand. The temple is currently listed by Cambodia as being in Svai Krom village, Kan Taut commune, in Chom Kshan district of Preah Vihear province of northern Cambodia. The temple is 140 km from Angkor Wat and 418 km from Phnom Penh. The temple was listed by Thailand as being in Bhumsarol village of Bung Malu sub-district, now merged with South Hong Chai sub-district, in Kandaralak district of the Sisaket province of eastern Thailand. It is 110 km from the Muang Sisaket district, the center of Sisaket province. In 1962 the ICJ ruled that only the temple building belonged to Cambodia, while the direct way to access the temple was from Thailand, but currently, as of at least 2015, the only access is from inside Cambodia. Temple complex runs 800 meters along a north-south axis facing the plains to the north, from which it is now cut off by the international border. It consists essentially of a causeway and steps rising up the hill towards the sanctuary, which sits on the cliff top at the southern end of the complex, 120 meters or 390 feet above the northern end of the complex, 525 meters or 1,722 feet above the Cambodian plain and 625 meters above sea level. Although this structure is very different from the temple mountains found at Angkor, it serves the same purpose as a stylized representation of Mount Meru, the home of the gods. The approach to the sanctuary is punctuated by 5 gopuras. These are conventionally numbered from the sanctuary outwards, so Gopura 5 is the first to be reached by visitors. Each of the gopuras before the courtyards is reached by a set of steps, and so marks a change in height which increases their impact. The gopuras also block a visitor's view of the next part of the temple until they pass through the gateway, making it impossible to see the complex as a whole from any one point. The 5th gopura, in the Koke style, retains traces of the red paint with which it was once decorated, although the tile roof has now disappeared. The 4th gopura is later, from the Khleung/Babho periods, and has on its southern outer pediment One of the masterpieces of Preah Vihear, a depiction of the churning of the Sea of Milk. The third is the largest and is also flanked by 2 halls. The sanctuary is reached via 2 successive courtyards, in the outer of which are 2 libraries. Construction of the first temple on the site began in the early 9th century. Both then and in the following centuries it was dedicated to the Hindu god Shiva in his manifestations as the mountain gods Shikhareshwara and Bhadrashwara. The earliest surviving parts of the temple, however, date from the Khmer period in the early 10th century, when the empire's capital was at the city of that name. Today, elements of the Banti Shrey style of the late 10th century can be seen, but most of the temple was constructed during the reigns of the Khmer kings Suryavarman I and Suryavarman II. An inscription found at the temple provides a detailed account of Suryavarman II studying sacred rituals, celebrating religious festivals and making gifts, including white parasols, golden bowls and elephants, to his spiritual advisor, the aged Brahmin Divakar Pandita. The Brahmin himself took an interest in the temple, according to the inscription, donating to it a golden statue of a dancing Shiva known as Nataraja. Citation needed. In the wake of the decline of Hinduism in the region, the site was converted to use by Buddhists. Modern times, Prasat Preah Vihear was rediscovered by the outside world and became subject of an emotional dispute between Thailand and the newly independent Cambodia. The dispute arose from the different maps each party used in national delimitation. In 1904, Siam and the French colonial authorities ruling Cambodia formed a joint commission to demarcate their mutual border to largely follow the watershed line of the Dângrêk mountain range, which placed nearly all of Preah Vihear temple on Thailand's side. France, who was the protector of Cambodia at the time, agreed with Siam in Franco-Siamese Boundary Treaty of 1904. The mixed commission was set up in 1905. And it was to carry out delimitation between Siam and Cambodia. In 1907, after survey work, French officers drew up a map to show the border's location. Cambodia used the map published by French geographers in 1907, called Annex I map, which showed the temple in Cambodian territory, while Thailand used the provisions of the Treaty of 1904, which reads, "The frontier between Siam and Cambodia starts, on the left shore of the Great Lake, from the mouth of the river Stung Rolluos. It follows the parallel from that point easterly direction until it meets the river Preke Kompong Tiam. Then, turning northwards, it merges with the meridian from that meeting point as far as the Phnom Dângrêk mountain chain. From there it follows the watershed between the basins of Nam Sen and the Mekong, on the one hand, and the Nam Mon, on the other hand, and joins the Phnom Padang chain, the crest of which it follows eastwards as far as the Mekong. Upstream from that point, the Mekong remains the frontier of the Kingdom of Siam, in accordance with Article 1 of the Treaty of 3 October 1893. This would deem the temple as being located within Thai territory. However, the resulting topographic map, which was sent to Siamese authorities and used in the 1962 International Court of Justice (ICJ) ruling, showed the line deviating slightly from the watershed without explanation in the Preah Vihear area, placing all of the temples on the Cambodian side. Following the withdrawal of French troops from Cambodia in 1954, Thai forces occupied the temple to enforce their claim. Cambodia protested and in 1959 asked the ICJ to rule that the temple and the surrounding land lay in Cambodian territory. The case became a volatile political issue in both countries. Diplomatic relations were severed, and threats of force were voiced by both governments. The court proceedings focused not on questions of cultural heritage or on which state was the successor to the Khmer Empire, but rather on Siam's supposed long-time acceptance of the 1907 map. Arguing in The Hague for Cambodia was former U.S. Secretary of State D. Nixon, while Thailand's legal team included a former British Attorney General, Sir Frank Soskis. Cambodia contended the map showing the temple as being on Cambodian soil was the authoritative document. Thailand argued that the map was invalid and that it was not an official document of the Border Commission, and that it clearly violated the Commission's working principle that the border would follow the watershed line, which would place most of the temple in Thailand. If Thailand had not protested the map earlier, the Thai side said, it was because Thai authorities had had actual possession of the temple for some period of time, due to the great difficulty of scaling the steep hillside from the Cambodian side, or simply had not understood that the map was wrong. On 8 July 2008, the World Heritage Committee decided to add Prasat Preah Vihear, along with 26 other sites, to the World Heritage Site list, despite several protests from Thailand, since the map implied Cambodian ownership of disputed land next to the temple. As the process of heritage listing began, Cambodia announced its intention to apply for World Heritage inscription by UNESCO. Thailand protested that it should be a joint effort, and UNESCO deferred debate at its 2007 meeting. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. We will see on our next video and will explore Sisaket temple at Angkor, Cambodia. It is just east of Angkor Thom, directly south of Tom Mano across the Victory Way built in the mid-12th century. It is a Hindu